Hey everybody, it's Tara Green here. We're going to talk about the Libra equinox chart. This is set for Eastern Daylight Time, so the equinox falls September 23rd at 2:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's on the 22nd at 11:50 p.m. That's Pacific Daylight Time, and add 5 hours for Greenwich Mean Time. So, autumn equinox, this is the one of only 2 days in the whole year where the sun is right on the equator. So, this is what tropical astrology is all about. It's following the sun as it moves against the equator in the tropics. So there's the sun down there, 000, Libra. Okay. And so we're going to look at all the aspects. This is a very powerful day. It is one of the cross-quarter cardinal days of the year, the ingress of the new season. So this chart here, this astrology chart set for Washington, D.C., is used as a prognostication chart to make predictions for the next 3 to 6 months, because spring, March 21st, archetypally is usually the first day of spring and the first day of the new year, not December 31st. All right, so here's the sun, 0 Libra, in this chart in the 3rd house of communications, opposite Neptune and Pisces. So all of this stuff about fake news, about viruses, about projection, about blame, about guilt, about shadows, about mental illness, about the dark side, about karma. Who knows what's real and what isn't? Now, Libra, ruled by the planet Venus, there's Venus right there at 18 degrees of Leo, conjunct Juno, my favorite asteroid goddess, the feminine form of genius. I'm writing a book about her. Now, Venus then rules the Libra expression of the equinox. So Venus and Libra, things can be very dramatic. Venus conjunct Juno is a very powerful dynamic duo because Juno is the feminine force of genius. Latin has masculine and feminine terms. Sorry, all you gender benders, whatever. This is ancient Latin. You're not going to break that language. All Latin languages have it, as do many other languages. So Juno, the feminine form of genius, the term genius was just reserved for a man who was really smart, like Albert Einstein or Oppenheimer, or even Elon Musk these days. So this was the feminine form of genius, written out of history. She was married off to Zeus, the head god, which is Jupiter, and she became kind of second fiddle to him. She's Hera in the Greek myths, but originally then she became known for the goddess of marriage and childbirth, and the month of June is named in her honor, which is all very nice. But originally this multitasking 8-armed goddess here with the Venus cross of matter underneath her, super important. So this is Venus, the goddess of beauty, and Juno, the goddess of brains. So women really want to express both of that very powerfully from their hearts, okay? And for everybody has an internal masculine and feminine. We always have to have those complementary dualities. This is the nature of the universe we live in. So Venus and Juno are sextiling, very nice supportive aspect. Mars and Libra. Now Mars is considered weak traditionally because Mars is in Venus territory. But again, we're looking for justice. We're looking for peace. Mars and Libra is Mars learning to integrate the feminine side, to integrate peace and balance. So this is a nice positive aspect there. The moon is in Capricorn over here. So the moon is always the mood of the people. The moon is in a trine, an earth trine with Mercury in Virgo and Jupiter in Taurus. Up there, Jupiter's still retrograde, but you can see that nice grand earthy trine. So the moon in Capricorn, the people want practical things. They want traditional things. They want to go back to the old ways, ruled by Saturn. And so the moon means the people. The moon is in the 5th house. They're speaking out about protecting the children. 5th house of children, traditionally creative expression, willpower. Again, willpower, that's Leo, right? And then Saturn, the planet Saturn is retrograde. Saturn is that old devil that rules Capricorn, is retrograde at 1 degree of Pisces, conjunct the archangel Gabriel here. And Saturn is in conjunct the sun in Libra. So Saturn and Pisces, again, we could be dealing with old wounds and love addictions. Again, projection, denial, going to hide your head under the bed, escapism, all of that stuff. Hollywood, again, the Hollywood talks, going back to talk here, is very much indicated by this. Hollywood is ruled by Pisces energy, Neptune traditionally, and Jupiter is the traditional ruler. So Saturn and Pisces, and in conjunct is where you're not conscious. So Saturn and Pisces is we could be unconscious about our own self-sabotage. That's very much a Saturn and Pisces image, and that's something you want to look at. Now, Neptune in Pisces is sextiling Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is also retrograde. So those two are a nice supportive aspect, and they both focus on Mars in Libra and really on the south node here in Libra. So this is where we need to let go of old habitual relationship patterns. The old justice system is not working. Again, Neptune in conjunct that. There's fake justice going on. Uranus is the revolution. The people need to stand up against the fake news, the fake agendas all over the place, and have their voice heard, and refuse to pay their taxes, refuse to go to work, refuse to follow the system. Okay, now, Vesta, another asteroid goddess, the root word of investments at 2 degrees of Cancer, is also trining Saturn and Ceres here. So this is a nice, also a grand water trine. So this is kind of unusual, the grand water trine and the grand earth trine. This is a Merkaba. This is a very powerful 6-pointed star. So Saturn to Vesta and Cancer. Invest yourself in your family and where you feel emotionally safe, with friends, with family. Food, this is, investing yourself in food that's very healthy, that's spiritually healthy. Saturn in Pisces is about spiritual health and boundaries. And then Ceres, the great mother there in Scorpio. So again, looking at what's going on below the surface. Ceres is the great mother, like Demeter, and her myth involves her daughter Persephone being abducted by Pluto into the underworld, which is Scorpio. And we're getting ready to go into the underworld, the dark part of the year now in the northern hemisphere. So this is, we're going into the deep feminine, even more. Since the summer solstice, we've been in the feminine, the yin part of the year that gets stronger and stronger in the northern hemisphere until December 21st, 22nd. That's the solstice there. So Pluto at 27 degrees of Capricorn is also trining Uranus. Neptune and Pluto are also in this sextile together. So this is also very powerful. This is a long-term sextile. This is the outer planets really supporting each other, and they are in conjunct Lilith here. Now this is also not being shown, but this is a very powerful. I'm going to draw these in here so you'll see it better. Neptune in conjunct Lilith, Pluto in conjunct Lilith. Lilith and Leo at 20, looks like 28 degrees there. So very powerful degree, conjunct where the former royal star Regulus used to be. Regulus is now progressed to 0 degrees of Virgo. So Saturn is also opposite Regulus now. The king has stepped down off his royal throne to be a commoner, and that's why all the royals married commoners. But Neptune in conjunct Lilith. This is the power of Lilith as the goddess, as the queen. And Neptune, she'll come up in your dreams, she'll come up in your unconscious, in your shadows. Lilith refuses to compromise, especially in Leo, and there's Pluto in Capricorn. So look at where there's powers going on behind the scenes. Like Lilith represents the dark shadow of the powerful feminine, the first woman. And so the men, the patriarchy represented by Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, are terrified of Lilith. So all the women have to do is stand up and say, no. We're not going to take it. We're not going to have sex with you. We're not going to buy these products unless you do it our way, until the feminine really restores a balance, a matriarchal balance, which is about equality, so that corporate structure works to encompass women's values, women's needs. This is what we need to revolutionize right now. Neptune and Pisces, really looking at how people are being deluded and brainwashed and listening to our instincts, our spiritual instincts. That's Neptune and Pisces. So, it's a very powerful aspect here. Let's see what else. Chiron, the wounded healer, up here in Aries, is trining Venus and Juno. So this is where we want to be brave and take off some masks that we're wearing and look at our wounds and take time to dress our wounds. Chiron in Aries is like the Fisher King in a way. I think about him like the Fisher King, the wounded king. And you have to ask the right questions, to be supportive. The North Node's already up at 25 degrees of Leo, of course, still in that square from Pluto. Okay, Pluto right there. And so, again, what is your soul telling? What is your soul whispering to you to do? What do you know deep down in your gut is the right soul essence, the soul move for you right now? North Node in Aries. Be the Amazon warriors. Be brave. Fight back. Fight back for what you know is right. Fight back for, before they turn the world upside down. I was listening to that Leonard Cohen song, The Future, which I always loved, and you should listen to it. It's one of the most prophetic. He was a brilliant genius, Leonard Cohen. He talks about the future from 1990, 91, and 92, what the future was going to be like, and he's got it down totally. And the most ironic line is, when they said repent, I wondered what they meant, So that are gone. Now, Mercury in Virgo in its own sign is strong here again in that nice trine, Earth trine to the moon. So again, women needing to speak their voice, and speaking their voice and communicating, marketing with their dollars, with their purses. Women control the money flow generally. They buy the food, they buy the products. And so if you don't like what somebody's doing, if you want to stop supporting your taxes, your funds going to something, Saturn is the cosmic tax man, you just have to stop buying. You lobby together in groups. This is a big, Jupiter, Uranus, when they conjunct later in 2024, it's going to be a big dramatic kickoff to a big rebellion. Okay, so series is about self-nurturing and Scorpio, giving yourself time. I know I'm speaking to a lot of women who are burnt out, again, so Saturn, boundaries, healthy boundaries, we need to set them. Invest in what you need to feel safe. Give yourself time, be by water, take a nice cleansing bath. We're getting ready to go into eclipse season. That's going to be really powerful as well. So you want to think about, I actually added the asteroid Hygeia here because they're having crazy talk about COVID, blah, blah, again. And Eros is there. And I also put in Hecate, the goddess of the past, present, and future. She's there also, connected to Venus and Juno. There she is there with Lilith. That's a very powerful quartet there. Venus, Juno, Hecate. She's the witch's goddess. She's very much like Lilith, the dark moon goddess. You worship her on the new moon. She sees past, present, and future. She's her epithet, her attribute was once that she was the trivial goddess. Trivial meaning three ways, seeing past, present, and future. So she's very much about psychic energy as well. So tap into Lilith in your dreams. I think that in conjunct of Saturn to Lilith as well is about asking Lilith to come into your dreams very specifically. So we want to make a new beginning. Yogananda always said if you're going to start any kind of new meditation practice, you can either do it only on the Libra entrance or on the Sun entering Aries. So this is a good time to find some balance, to look at where we're projecting out onto other people, our own fears, our own shadows, our own projections. Good time to take those back. Okay, so this is pretty powerful. All of the planets are kind of spread out. Basically, there is something in each sign. There's something for everybody. No major planets in Aquarius, actually, but there is some asteroids there. So I want to wish you all the best. If you'd like to have a personal reading about what the next 3 to 6 months is for you, you can get in touch with me at tarottarot.com. And happy birthday for all you Libras. It's your month ahead. Sending you many, many blessings.